Tonight, one last time, we will draw Squashy Frog.
You know, his name is Karl.
What's your other theory?
If it were within the rules, I guess a cloud hat would be neat.
Cloud. Hey, Camp Pencil Pointers. So last week I tried one last time to accurately draw the Squashy Frog of Chicken Wing Swamp. Here he is. However, when I showed it to Drew, what did you say?
That is a great drawing.
And?
It's so close. You're just missing two things.
So Emily is going to draw this week. She is going to try one more time to accurately draw Squashy Frog.
You know, his name is Karl. You can just call him by his real name.
Wait, Ruby, you know Squashy Frog?
Karl!
Karl the Squashy Frog?
Carulius. In a professional setting.
All right, fair enough. So, Drew, do you care to tell us what two things we're missing? And please don't give us another haiku.
No haiku today. Just a regular poem.
Oh, it's never easy.
You sketched a dapper frog with strong patella. His friend tastes good with mozzarella, but Yam lights up to sing a cappella. And Froggy's more a gorgeous fella.
Seriously, dude? So now what?
Today, Emily will draw her version of Karl.
Alright. So Camp Pencil Pointers at home, we would love it if you drew along with Emily. You don't have to draw exactly what she is drawing. We just think it's really cool to draw together. So join us as we enter the final chapter of Karl, the Squashy Frog of Chicken Wing Swamp.
Theme music!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, otters and dragons and octopi, and Karl, the Squashy Frog. Welcome to Camp Pencil Point, a place where we draw using nonsense and tomfoolery, and we're sure glad you stopped by tonight to share in the final chapter of the Squashy Frog saga. Joe Fu here. I'm joined by my very good friend right over there, Emily. Emily, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great. I think we have the final clues going in to this final chapter of the Squashy Frog saga. Before we go anywhere, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at CampPencilPoint. You can also follow Emily and I on Instagram. Please share Camp Pencil Point with your friends and your family. Share the love of drawing. For the next 12 to 15 minutes, we are about to embark on a journey of the ridiculous. So we would love it if you drew along with us tonight. You don't have to draw exactly what Emily is drawing. Just start sketching, and it could be anything you want. Just take your pencil or your crayon or your marker and put it to paper and just let the thoughts flow out and let it go and start drawing. Emily is going to draw Karl, the Squashy Frog of Chicken Wing Swamp. So let me give you a really quick recap of how we got to this point. Camp Pencil Point is located on several acres of uncharted land. That uncharted land is populated with many strange and peculiar creatures. We sent Drew out to discover these strange and peculiar creatures, give us a description of what they are, and all of us being artists draw these creatures. Drew discovers the very first animal. 1, gives us a very vague description. 2, hides all the clues in emojis on a social media post. 3, gives us clues through a haiku. 4, what we just witnessed today, Drew gave us clues in the form of a poem. Here is Drew's poem. You sketched a dapper frog with strong patella. His friend tastes good with mozzarella, but Yam lights up to sing a cappella, and Froggy's more a gorgeous fella. I really have no idea. But Emily, you and I talked before this. You actually found some clues. And actually, I'm going to say this. I think the pencil pointers out there figured it out too. You guys are smart. But Emily, give us your thoughts on Drew's poem.
The first part being Yam sings a cappella.
Yes.
A cappella.
A cappella.
In order for Yam to do this, he would have to be a ventriloquist. I cannot speak. Ventriloquist dummy.
Because he's singing with, he's talking through the frog's voice.
That's what I think.
All right, I could dig that. What's your other theory?
Well, the other part was how he is a gorgeous fella, and I think the emphasis is on gorge, and I don't think it's a frog.
Oh, so he's gorge, like a gourd?
Like a gourd.
He's saying a gorgeous fella?
A gourd, yes. Maybe even a squash.
Well, that makes sense. You got some help from Ruby, and obviously Ruby knows Squashy Frog, Karl the Squashy Frog.
Karl!
So Emily took a little bit of advice from Ruby. She also kind of just went in and drew her own version. Hopefully we're a little bit closer. So everyone out there, buckle in because this is it. This is the final chapter of Karl the Squashy Frog from Chicken Wing Swamp.
Before Emily draws her squashy frog, here's my drawing of Karl. Ahoy, me hearty. Okay, Emily, let's get to sketching.
Emily, did you see Ruby's version of Karl the Squashy Frog?
Yeah.
Do you
Really
think
nice.
Do you think you came close to Karl the Squashy Frog with this drawing?
I think so. It's a rather odd collaboration of ideas, so who knows?
I'll tell you what, this collaboration of ideas, it just kept growing and growing and growing. It went from being round to being squashy to having a boat on his head. Now he's actually a gourd. He's actually a squash himself. So we take a look at what Emily's drawing. You're using your favorite pencil right now, and this goes to show you don't need really expensive equipment to draw. You can get by with the most inexpensive materials you can find. Sometimes you need better materials. Like Emily, this is off the top of your head, but what kind of materials do you recommend people spend a little bit more money on? And while you think of that, I'm going to throw out mine out there. I would definitely spend anywhere from $10 to $20 on a brush, like a really nice thin brush. Maybe even more, maybe like $30 on a brush, because like your final line work in a brush is the final stuff that people see. So I would spend, I wouldn't say $30 for a brush is too expensive. What say you, Emily?
Yeah, there's some really nice ones, and they are a little more costly. You wouldn't use it for sketching or whatever, but there are more refined tools for getting particular quality of line or inking that you're going for. What is it? Is it marmot hair or something?
It's some type of animal hair.
Yeah.
I was always told sable hair is the best to get a
Yes.
good line.
That's it.
Is
Marmot.
what is
Not a
marmot a
marmot.
real hair? Is there marmot hair brushes?
I don't know.
I really want one now. So, I got off on a tangent, but the reason I started talking about this is because Emily is using a Papermate pencil that you pick up in like a 12-pack or a 10-pack at any office supply store or Target. That's the pencil I always see you use, Emily.
It's a nice one. It's the lead is very soft, so it's easy to sketch with.
A good soft lead gives you some good line work. Do you have any expensive pencils that you use to sketch with?
I use the zebra one.
Oh, you shoot
Mechanical
a zebra
pencil.
pencil? I've never had it. I've never seen the zebra.
Yeah. So I like sketching with this too. It has a nice thick lead, and again, it's soft, and that's nice. I forget how much that was, 10 or something, maybe.
Oh, so that's
Remember.
like
It's
your expensive.
particularly a good sturdy metal. Yeah.
I would even use for finished pencils. The most common pencil I use is the Papermate, just like what you've been using. Only it's like a Marvel superhero Papermate that you can only get at Target. And it's a really, I know I say this in every video, but it's a really thick lead. Where mechanical pencils are usually like 0.5 millimeters or 0.7 millimeters, so they're really thin. This one's like a 1.3 millimeter, so it's extra thick. I find it great to get good thickness. It's a good soft pencil. It gives you some some good darkness, and you can get some good thick and thins out of it. So that's my pencil of choice, and that's only like you can buy a 5-pack for like $5, I think. I think you're getting ready to wrap it up, but let me throw this at you really quick. Squashy Frog is totally wearing a boat for a hat. Emily, if you were in a strange contest where you had to make a hat using non-traditional hat materials, so if you had to make a hat that's really weird out of any old junk you had lying around, what would you use to build your strange hat?
If it were within the rules, I guess a cloud hat would be neat.
A cloud?
Well, I imagine, it keeps you cool when it's hot and gives you shade when you need it. And then if the sun's setting, it always looks like a sunset behind you. It might get cloudy. It might get, then it just rains.
You couldn't wear your glasses. Your glasses would constantly be fogged.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And you would always feel wet. Camp Pencil Pointers out there, would you wear a cloud hat? And 2, if you made a non-traditional hat out of non-traditional materials, what materials would you use? By the way, Leslie is a big fan of your cloud hat.
Oh.
You have a supporter.
Oh,
for the cloud
thank
hat.
you.
All right, I think you're done actually, and we're gonna switch to a beauty shot right here. And there, I'm gonna turn us off for now because we're gonna find out from Drew what his thoughts are and what he thinks this looks like.
Yes, this is it. Emily nailed it. This looks just like Carulius in all his squashy glory. Ahoy!
Add Karl to the map, muchacho.
So there we go. Ruby added Karl the Squashy Frog to the map of Camp Pencil Point. There he is. Drew said he is 100%. There we are again. How's it going, guys? Drew said he's 100% accurate. We nailed it. You nailed it, Emily. Great job. Great job. The saga is done. We're done. Hey, if you're watching the bite-sized version of this video and you want to watch the drawing at full speed, at regular speed, or you want to join in on the chat or throw up some comments, please follow Camp Pencil Point on Facebook. And that way you could be part of our live streams every Tuesday. Hey guys, if you're a good artist, then be a good artist. If you're a not so good artist, it's okay. Be a not so good artist. Whatever you are, just draw and have fun doing it. And I'm going to say the most important thing I say in any of our videos, in any of our live streams, the most important thing for me to say is this. You are important, and your artistic voice is important too. So take care of yourself and take care of your artistic voice. Remember to draw every day, but like we did here, take the stress out and draw for fun. Finally, you ready, Emily? Finally, but most importantly, never stop creating and never stop inspiring. Until next time, everybody, go out and draw something ridiculous.